Good morning, student. Welcome you all in the illumination and electrification of building video lecture session. Up till now, we learned about the factors to be considered while designing of illumination scheme for the interior applications. Then lighting design objectives. After that, factors governing the luminance of visual task, choice of lighting system, then choice of lamps, flowchart related to lighting objectives, then residential lighting provisions and its general guidelines, then lighting system in residential premises and the various lighting scheme, that is direct lighting scheme, indirect lighting scheme, semi-direct lighting scheme, semi-indirect lighting scheme and general lighting scheme, which is adopted for interior as well as exterior applications. So today we will start with the illumination efficiency. Lamp is highly efficient if it is radiate more lumens with less power input or less power consumption to the lamp. So different lamps have different illumination efficiency. If power saving is the criteria, then selection of lamp which have higher illumination efficiency. So there is a table shows luminous efficiency in lumens per watt according to the type of lamps. So first one is incandescent lamp. It having efficiency is 15 to 20 lumens per watt. Then second one is fluorescent lamp. It having a efficiency that is 50 to 60 lumens per watt. Next one is sodium vapor lamp. Its efficiency is 80 to 150 lumens per watt. After that, mercury vapor lamp, it having the efficiency is 28 to 50 lumens per watt. Then halogen lamp, 22 to 33 lumens per watt. After that, compact fluorescent lamp, CFL, 50 to 75. Then metal halide lamp, 60 to 115 lumens per watt. Then neon lamp, which is having efficiency of 50 to 65% lumens per 50 to 65 lumens per watt. And now LED, 50 to 100 lumens per watt, and the laser that depend upon the type of the applications. So these are the luminous efficiency of particular lamps which are already be seen in second chapter. So according to the luminous efficiency, we can select a type of lamps for the interior application as well as exterior applications. Now, before we are going to design illumination scheme for the residential premises, we have to know about the shadows, glare, etc. So how shadows forms, for that point we have to see about the shadows formation. Shortcoming of lighting is due to shadows formation. Long and hard shadows cause fatigue to eyes and therefore it is considered to be shortcoming. Nil shadows is not expected, but certain amount of shadows is required in artificial lighting as it helps to give shape to the solid object and make them easily recognized. लाईट सोर्स जर असेल आणि या लाईट सोर्स याच्या पाथमध्ये जर ऑब्जेक्ट येत असेल तर त्या ऑब्जेक्टच्या पुढे तुम्हाला शॅडोज हे भेटतील. सो इफ इट इज शॅडोज इज हेल्पफुल फॉर द illumination design or a drawback of shadows of the illumination design, we will see in the next point. But what is the importance of the shadows in the illumination design? We have to notice. So for that we have to check the drawbacks of shadowless light. If shadowless light is there, then there is a picture. One picture contains a shadows and one picture doesn't contain shadows. So by observing this picture, both pictures, we can see that, or we can say that the first picture shows shadowless light object, but due to shadowless we can't recognize the shape of the objects, if it is circle or if it is sphere. So shadow helps to recognize the boundaries of the object as well as shape of the objects. So here the shadow, due to shadow, it looks like it is a sphere and which is rested on the flat surface. So this picture is same, but the difference is one picture doesn't contain shadows and one picture contains shadows. So it is a drawback of shadowless light, so that we can doesn't recognize the actual shape or actual size of that object. Next picture shows there are 3 objects in the room, and by considering these shadows we can observe these objects easily as they are situated in different heights and different place. इथे 3 ऑब्जेक्ट्स आहेत. एक ऑब्जेक्टचा शॅडो जो आहे तो त्याला लागूनच आहे. एका ऑब्जेक्टचा शॅडो थोड्याशा अंतरावरती आहे आणि एका ऑब्जेक्टचा शॅडो आहे तो हा खूप अंतरावरती आहे. म्हणजेच विथ द हेल्प ऑफ दिस शॅडोज वी कॅन रिकग्नाइज द ॲक्च्युअल ॲड्रेस ऑफ दॅट ऑब्जेक्ट्स. Also we recognize the shape of that objects. ज्यावेळेस शॅडो किंवा शॅडोमुळे आपल्याला त्या ऑब्जेक्टचा प्लेस किंवा ॲड्रेस पण कळेल, आणखीन त्याचा साईज किंवा शेपसुद्धा कळेल. जर शॅडो जर नसेल तर आपल्याला डिफिकल्टी येऊ शकते त्या ऑब्जेक्टचा बाउंडरी किंवा शेप किंवा साईज ओळखण्यासाठी. आता इथे आपल्याला असं दिसून येतं की हा ऑब्जेक्ट आहे तो स्पियर आहे, जो ह्या फ्लॅट सरफेस किंवा हॉरिझॉन्टल स्पेसवरती किंवा प्लेनवरती हा रेस्ट झाला आहे. इथे ह्या स्पियरला याचं शॅडो थोडंसं हॉरिझॉन्टल प्लेनवरती, साईड प्लेनवरती आणि वर्टिकल प्लेनवरती सुद्धा शॅडो दिसतोय. याचा अर्थ तो थोड्याशा अंतरावरती आणि पाठीमागे हा ऑब्जेक्ट किंवा हे स्पियर माउंट केले असं दिसून येते. म्हणजे विथ द हेल्प ऑफ दिस शॅडोज विच इज फॉल ऑन द प्लेन्स वी कॅन रिकग्नाइज द ॲड्रेस ऑफ दॅट स्पियर्स. ह्या केसमध्ये जर बघायचं झालं तर हा स्पियर हा याचा शॅडो जर आपण बघितला तर शॅडो हा हॉरिझॉन्टल प्लेनवरती खूप लांब अंतरावरती आहे. याचा अर्थ याच्यामधलं ह्या स्पियरचं डिस्टन्स हे मॅटर करतं आहे. म्हणजे हा थोड्याशा हाईटवरती ऑब्जेक्ट ठेवण्यात आलेला आहे असं दिसून येतं. तर याच्यावरून आपल्याला वी कॅन इझिली रिकग्नाइज the shape, size and actual address of that objects. Okay, so usefulness of shadowless light. This is useful in drawing offices, that is drafting offices, where we are to work on flat surface and the figures not hindered. Here the figure or picture shows the conventional draft office, in that whatever the work is done on the paper itself. So it is a two-dimensional works. Therefore, here there is nothing or there is no need to uh, identify the objects as the shadow is absent. So here ड्राफ्ट ऑफिसचा अर्थ असा आहे 2D डायमेन्शनवरती वर्क करणे, म्हणजे ड्रॉइंग शीट असेल त्याच्यावरती ड्राफ्टिंग करणे. आणि याच्यामध्ये 2 डायमेन्शन असल्यामुळं 2 डायमेन्शनल वर्क असल्यामुळे इथं शॅडो असून किंवा नसल्यामुळं काहीच फरक पडत नाही. याच्यामुळे आपल्याला ड्राफ्टिंग ऑफिसमध्ये शॅडोलेस लाईटची आवश्यकता भासू शकते किंवा शॅडोलेस असलं तरीसुद्धा चालू शकते. It is modern drafting office. Here also a bench having a drafting table. So here on that surface the illumination level is required, that is according to the standards. So on that surface there is no any shadows fall on during the work. Next is what is long and dark shadows. So there is a type of shadows, dark shadows as well as long shadows. Here the first picture shows the hard shadows and second shows the soft shadows. याच्यामध्ये हे ऑब्जेक्ट्स ठेवलेत and due to hard shadows we can't recognize what are the objects are placed behind that objects or overlapping of that objects. हार्ड शॅडोजमुळं इथे आता हा सिलेंडर ठेवला आहे आणि ह्याचे जे डार्क शॅडो आहे ह्या क्यूबवरती पडले. बट ड्यू टू दिस हार्ड शॅडो वी कांट रिकग्नाइज द ॲक्च्युअल साईज ऑर द बाउंड्री ऑफ क्यूब्स. As well, sphere is located, so it is called as hard shadows. Now looking at the second picture, due to soft shadows of cylinder on the cube we can easily recognize the boundaries of that cubes as well as the sphere, so it is called as dark shadow or hard shadows. So with the help of these shadows, dark shadows, it is useful for the photography and photo sessions, but it is the application for the hard shadow is very limited. See this picture, human face, we can't recognize the human face. In second figure also or second picture also we can't easily recognize the human face or we can't identify the human due to the hard shadows. Now long shadows. This picture shows the number of persons are walking over the surfaces, but it having a long shadows, but due to these long shadows we not easily recognize the persons or number of persons easily. Second picture shows there are a corridor and due to this beam or due to the long shadows of beam on the corridor, we can't recognize or we can't walk on the corridor easily itself. So this two picture shows the long shadows. To avoid the long and hard shadows, we have to use a large number of small luminaries with a mounting height more than 2.5 meter from working plane, or to use a wide surface source of light using globes over filament lamps or by using indirect lighting system. Now we talk about the glare. The meaning of the word is shiny, dazzlingly, or disagreeably. So, glare may be directed or reflected, which is from artificial as well as natural light. Here, there is a light source and there is a working area to be illuminated under that light source. Human being is stand beside the area to be illuminated. So direct glare which is comes from the source of light, and the reflected glare which is comes from the area reflected area to be illuminated. So by observing this picture we can easily identify the glare zone. So this white portion shows the actual utilization of illumination, and beside this area or this faint area known as glare zone. If human being come in that contact with the glare zone, then the glare due to glare the human being cannot recognize the objects in that illuminated areas. So it is called as glare. So basically it having a two types, the glares which is by natural or artificial, it may be by directed or reflected. So first one is direct glare. The first picture shows the direct glare comes from this source of light. A human being sitting on in front of the working plane for the work, but due to direct glare he is inconvenienced to do the work, or he feel uncomfortness to do the work. Second picture shows reflected glare. ज्या वेळेस तो पर्सन वर्क सरफेसवरती वर्क करतोय आणि लाईट्सच्या सोर्सेस आहेत किंवा रेज आहेत ज्याच्यावरती काम करते तिथून जर रिफ्लेक्ट्स होत असतील आणि तिथून त्या ह्युमन बिईंगला जर बघण्यासाठी अडथळा येत असेल तर त्या गोष्टीला रिफ्लेक्टेड ग्लेअर असं म्हणायचं. हिअर light source is there, and but due to focused on the wall surface and the reflections from the wall surface, the human being can't judge the or can't do the work easily in that area. So basically direct glare is from source itself, whether it is artificial or whether it is from natural. Reflected glare is from desktop nickered machine parts or calendared paper. Direct glare from source of light is more common and hindrance to vision of eyes. Means there is a obstacles to see the objects for the human being eyes. Direct glare causes discomfort. Reflected glare comes on eyes from polished surface indirectly. डायरेक्ट ग्लेअर जे आहे तो डायरेक्ट सोर्सपासूनच निघेल आणि ज्यावेळेस ह्युमन बिईंग त्याच्या कॉन्टॅक्टमध्ये येईल त्यावेळेस तो डिस्कम्फर्ट असेल एखादं व्हिज्युलायझेशनसाठी. तसंच रिफ्लेक्टेड ग्लेअर जे असणार आहे ते डेस्कटॉप किंवा पॉलिश्ड सरफेस याच्यामुळं रिफ्लेक्शन्समुळं जे काही ग्लेअर्स आलेत यावेळेसुद्धा ह्युमन बिईंग जर त्या झोनमध्ये किंवा त्या कॉन्टॅक्टमध्ये जर येत असेल तर ह्युमन आईजवरती स्ट्रेन येण्याची शक्यता आहे ग्लेअरमुळे. So this picture shows the perfect example of the glare. It is the reflected area. Due to this direct glare and reflected glare, we can't judge the object or the premises or the size of the premises, and what are the objects are used over here we can't recognize easily. Method to avoid glare. To avoid discomfort due to glare, the luminaries shall be located at such a height above the range of vision. म्हणजे फर्स्ट आपण पिक्चरमध्ये बघितलं आहे जर ह्युमन बिईंग ज्या व्हिज्युअल झोनमध्ये येणार आहे त्याच्याहीपेक्षा थोड्याशा वरती अंतरावरती ठेवलं तर कदाचित डिस्कम्फर्ट आहे तो ग्लेअरमुळे येणारा तो आपण अवॉइड करू शकतो. नेक्स्ट आहे मेटल रिफ्लेक्टर्स फॉर इंडस्ट्रियल लाइटिंग आर ऑर्डिनरीली बी प्रोव्हाइडेड विथ अ स्कर्ट अराउंड द रिम ऑफ द रिफ्लेक्टर. म्हणजे इंडस्ट्रियल लाइटिंगमध्ये आपल्याला मेटल रिफ्लेक्टर्स विथ स्कर्ट अराउंड द रिम म्हणजे रिफ्लेक्टरच्या अराउंड स्कर्टचा यूज करून आपल्याला हे ग्लेअर्स अवॉइड करता येतील. म्हणजे प्रॉपर रिफ्लेक्टर्स आपल्याला यूज करावे लागतील जेणेकरून ग्लेअर अवॉइड होईल. देन माउंटिंग हाईट ऑफ लाइटिंग सिस्टम इज गव्हर्न्ड बाय द टाईप ऑफ बिल्डिंग अँड टाईप ऑफ लाइटिंग स्कीम एम्प्लॉयड. म्हणजे by using a correct height of the luminaries we can avoid the glare arises on the working plane. That depends upon the type of building and the lighting scheme which are employed in the interior applications. So with the help of screening here the picture shows before glare and after filtration of glare. So directly we can show over here the first picture shows direct glare and due to this we can't recognize the actual shape of the vehicles, but in the next picture we easily recognize the shape and size of the vehicles. Similarly this picture also says the method to avoid the glares. Now the next point is light sources for room lighting. For the room lighting generally the fluorescent tubes are used, then CFLs or LEDs are used. After that triphosphor fluorescent lamp also used, and along with that accessories, fittings and luminaries are used. It means for the illumination by the CFL or by the fluorescent tube or by the LEDs or by the triphosphor fluorescent lamp, accessories or luminaries are necessary. So, what are the accessories required? Let us see. First one is wall bracket. It is for any lamp is want to be hang on the wall. Second one is ceiling mounted. If it is lamp is mounted under the ceiling, then ceiling mounted accessories are required. If the lamp is floor mounted, then floor mounted accessories or fittings are required. If the lamp mounted on the table, so glass type or metal based finish accessories or fittings are required. If the lamp is attached on the corner of walls, then respective accessories or fittings are required. If the lamps are mounted under the ceiling or by the pendant, so pendant fittings or accessories are required. If the fiber optics are used for highlighting the showpieces or in the bathroom, then respective accessories or luminaries or fittings are required. That is, optical fiber cables are required. रूम लाईट असेल किंवा रेसिडेन्शियलमध्ये असेल, with the help of any sources of light, according to that we have to choose accessories or fittings for the illumination of that lamps. So these are the accessories. Now we see what are the accessories are available in the market. So this photo shows the wall brackets for the lamp which is mounted on the wall. So it is a wall bracket which is used to mount the lamp on the wall. Second, wall bracket shows actual the dimensions of the wall brackets. So in that portion we have to mount or we have to hang the lamp fittings. Next photo shows accessories or fittings required for ceiling mounting. If the lamp is mounted under the ceiling, then this kind of fittings are required to hold the lamp under that condition. Next picture shows the floor mounting lamps. So for that, whatever the lamps are used to illuminate the floors, so this kind of accessories or fittings are required to install the floor lighting. So here a cylindrical fittings are required to install a floor lighting. Next one is a table mounted glass type fittings which is required or which is mounted on the table as a study lamp. This is a metal based finish study lamps or table lamps which is used over the table. Then to illuminate the corner of the wall surfaces, this kind of accessories or fittings are required for the corner attached lamp. These are the lamps which are hang under the ceiling, so it is called as pendant lamps, which is used to improve the aesthetic of the commercial installation as well as in residential installation. Now it is the lights using the fiber optical cables. So this kind of fittings or luminaries are used in living room as well as in commercial or 5-star hotel or 3-star hotels in the reception corridor, which is used to highlight the showpieces. Same fiber optics are used to illuminate the ceiling of bathroom as well as the floors. So this kind of accessories are required to illuminate the lamps. Now we have to see the illumination level for loom lighting. There are a standards illumination level according to the locations which are located in the residential areas. So first one is entrances or hallways on that portion or on that location. 100 lux illumination level is required. For the living room, 300 lux is required. For dining room, 150 lux is required. For bedroom, 200 lux is required. And for general or utility purpose, 300 lux level is required. For dressing tables, bed heads, bedrooms, 200 lux level is required. For the games or recreation rooms, 100 lux level is required. For indoor games such as table games, 300 lux level required. For the kitchen, 200 lux level is required. If the kitchen sink is there, then also 200 lux level is required. For the laundry, 100 lux is required. For the bathroom, 300 lux. For the bathroom mirror, 700 lux. If it is sieving work is there, then 200 lux level is required. If it is workshop, small workshop in the house, then 200 lux level is required. In the staircase areas, 100 lux level is sufficient. In the garages or backyards, 70 lux is required. And for the study room, 300 lux is sufficient. So these are the various location of the residential areas. We have to set the illumination level as per the standards. So in the next lecture, we are going to see methods to plan and execute illumination for residential lighting. So today we have stop over here. Thank you.